What up, everybody? It's your boy DTLF back with another post-game recap. As unfortunately, the Lakers fall to the Brooklyn Nets. A lot to a little. Yeah, it wasn't the prettiest of games, guys. It was kind of frustrating, especially in the beginning. We knew that if they came out and slow, this would be a no-go. But let's be real. Lakers role players did not show up tonight. Outside of Kuz, who started off the game well and then eventually slowed down. Nobody else showed up besides LeBron and Kuz. So that's unfortunate. I'm gonna get to all the negative stuff and everything. Make sure you guys get your phones ready if you guys want to chime in as well. I will open up the lines in just a minute. But I want to give a congratulations to LeBron James, who played his heart out tonight, and he also surpassed a major milestone of he accomplished surpassing 35,000 points scored in his career. So congrats to LeBron. I know it was a tough night tonight, and normally I don't like to mention stats, but this is not a stat. This is a milestone. My man absolutely fought his heart out. He outplayed their stars, that's for sure. But it was 2 versus 1. And then the role players didn't step up for us on top of that. But he ended up the night with 32 points, 8 rebounds, 7 assists, did all he could. So shout out LeBron for that. As far as everybody else, again, they don't show up. Their role players show up. They had Harris. They had, I don't know, some Kawahu. I don't know what his name is. I don't even want to say it. Like, I'm a butcher it. We turned the ball over, got off to that slow start. And I told you guys, if we start the game slow, it's going to be nearly impossible to catch up to this team. So that quick start was key and crucial. And you got to congratulate them. The role players showed up. They wanted this game more. So, again, congratulations to the Nets. They won the battle, but they won't win the war. Now, this is an eye-opening game for the coaching staff, for the front office, and for everybody. We need more players to step up. If not, there will be major moves. I'm telling you this right now. Guys have to step up. KCP has been no-show for a couple of games now. Wesley Matthews was a no-show tonight. We needed to see way more from Trez. Kuz started off the game well, but then, tailed off towards the end. And, of course, we're facing the Brooklyn Nets, who are really Mike D'Antoni's team. Don't be fooled by the fact that, Steve Nash is coaching. Mike D'Antoni's team, as well as, unfortunately, the officials were bad. But anytime you face a James Harden-type team, the officiating is going to be hard. I don't know why they love James Harden. They're like infatuated by him. Maybe it's the beard. I don't know what it is. But they love James Harden. They love him. That's a fact. They got all the whistles. We got nothing. LeBron almost lost his mind. But no excuses. Tonight, they won. They were the better team for tonight, not overall. And the Lakers do have to address some things. First and foremost, we lost the game early, not just because we got off to a slow start, but because of coaching. We got out-coached by Mike D'Antoni. Like I said, it's Steve Nash coaches the team, but it's really Mike D'Antoni's offense. And you can see when he made that lineup move to, instead of start DeAndre, they started Jeff Green at the center. I knew we were in trouble because Marc Gasol's very slow, and they took full advantage of that. They exploited him. Unfortunately, Frank Vogel never, ever made that adjustment, and he was never able to we were never able to get back in the game. Anytime we made a run, we put Marc Gasol out there. They went small again, and boom, it was gone like that. Any run we made, they matched it. So, unfortunately, like I said, we were just outmatched tonight. Our role players didn't step up. They got the calls. When it's your night, it's your night. Congratulations, Brooklyn. Again, they win the battle. They don't win the war. Now, what I did appreciate, I'm going to tell you right now, all the showboating that was going on by KD out on the sideline, Kyrie, and all of them. I mean, you would think it's probably, hey, good chemistry for the team, whatever. But I didn't appreciate it because, look, both of these teams weren't at full strength. If you want to showboat right now, LeBron will register it. He did it last year in the playoffs. Him and AD were looking at them sidelines like, all right, y'all want to talk smack? We're going to come back stronger than ever. Just wait. Now, I do expect a move or two, maybe in the near future, due to the fact that we have been struggling on the boards. Man, they got tons of second chance points. We've been struggling in the paint, playing defense, man. Gasol is just like, he's like the poster child. Everybody likes to come in the paint and just lay the ball in his face like he's not even there. At this point of his career, he doesn't belong in the starting lineup. He barely belongs on the bench if he's knocking down threes, making the right passes, and doing the little things. Kevin King said Vogel made no adjustments. Very disappointed. Yeah, I seen that, bro. That's really where we lost the game. When they came out with small ball, and instead of us, coming out and matching up with Markieff, we allowed Gasol to get cooked over and over and over and over and over. Now it'll be interesting to see how we adjust to this because this was a very embarrassing loss, and nonetheless in Staples Center. And I think we will adapt and be stronger moving forward. But look, it's just one game. I know I hate to say it. I had the Lucky Laker jacket out. Didn't work tonight. I hate to say it. It's just one game, but it is what it is. Look, we got to move forward. We were injured. Last minute, they pulled out your boy Dennis Schroeder, and that also impacted us. I think Dennis would have ate in this game, especially since they didn't have a lot of paint defense either. So his speed would have helped us a lot. My boy Jarhead says we were out coached DTLF, but it's all good. We will win this war. He said Frank Vogel should read what Steve Nash is doing and change the rotations. My goodness, God bless you, my brother. Thank you, bro. Likewise. And you're right. Look, at the end of the day, Frank Vogel didn't make the adjustments tonight at all. And like my boy Kevin King and Jarhead said, it was disappointing, but it's just one game. Look, no excuses. They did their thing. Shout out to their role players. Their role players stepped up. Ours didn't. There's going to be nights like that. It's a long season. Am I panicking? No. Is this a potential team we could face in the playoffs? Yes. If they get to the finals and we get to the finals. But there's still a lot of time left and a lot of adjustments to be made if we even want to get there. Because, again, we've been exposed all year long, and I'm sure Frank Vogel is working – not Frank Vogel. Rob Pelinka is working overtime to try to land another big man. We're extremely thin in that front line, and having AD injured only exposes that even more. A lot more. He said, Mo Bamba, bro. A lot of people don't think it's a good idea, but how many people said that when we got Dwight back? He said, I say give the young kid a chance. I'm open-minded to it. It's not my favorite choice, but I'm open-minded to anything at this point. We're getting exploited in the paint. They're coming in here doing the moonwalk, man. There's nothing we could do. It's compared to last year's rim protection to this year, even though we're still number one defensive efficiency rating. The homegirl said it earlier. She said we're way worse defensively, but I don't think it's defensively. It's just in the paint. Once we cover up that hole, the boat's going to stop sinking. Right now, the boat is leaking and it's starting to sink. But we need to cover up that hole. That way we can, smooth sailing all the way to the finals. In order for that to happen, I would really love Andre Drummond or any sort of, defensive rated big man. Now, she said, if the Nets get Drummond, we are screwed. I've been saying that, Jackie. I don't want Drummond to go there anywhere but there. I really don't want him to go there. Lakers for Life said, Dan, our home record sucks. It is what it is, man. It's a lot different without the fans. No excuses still, but the situation, like we're going through injuries right now, and again, we are very thin in the front line. But it just, my only thing is that LeBron James had the most effort tonight. I don't appreciate that. LeBron and Kuz. Other people have to step up. That's the only thing that bothers me. You can't have Mr. 36-year-old MVP candidate, of course. No disrespect. Out hustling everybody. Even Trez didn't seem like himself today for some reason. But again, I'm not going to make an excuse for him. It's just one game at the end of the day. And we'll see what happens moving forward. He said, I'm becoming impatient. We need a rim protector. Nerlens Noel is with Clutch. Bring him along. But he's not a free agent, bro. And I think right now him and Thibs are seeing eye to eye because he's getting major minutes, especially due to the injury. But again, this is in panic mode. We're still number 2 in the West. We're not sliding in the standings. Remember, the Clippers just lost the other night. But things are getting a little, too close for comfort. So we do have to make the right adjustments. USMC said, DTL, if we need AD 100 to have a chance. Absolutely, brother. But we got to buy him some time in order for him to come back and do his thing. Anyways, I'm going to open up the phone lines for you guys, man, so you guys can give me your thoughts. I'm sure a lot of you guys are frustrated. Make sure you guys call in right here to 909-285-1385 if you guys want to give your thoughts, opinions, maybe any trade suggestions, any sort of rotation moves. I was also disappointed with Alex Caruso not starting. He went with Wes Matthews, which I was afraid of. I figured that was going to be one of his options due to the fact that he loves veterans, right? And since Wes has been in the league more, he went with that. He went with experience over effectiveness. Personally, I think that was the wrong move because you put the ball in LeBron's hands and put all the pressure on him. The defense collapsed and caused some early turnovers, and unfortunately, we never recovered from those. Again, falling back versus a team like Detroit and coming back is a lot different than versus a team like the Nets who have consistent firepower and can continue to put in work. He said Lakers role players are all average and below. There's no stepping up. I wouldn't say that. I just think they had an off night. I'm not turning on them for one night, though, personally. Let's see who's calling in right now. Hey, what's up? You on live with Dan? Hello?
Hey, Dan.
Hey, what's up,
Hey,
brother?
Dan.
How's it going?
I like your soundtrack, and I really enjoy your channel. But
Appreciate
I
it,
think
bro.
what you don't really understand is the Clippers are a better team this year than the Lakers,
You think
and
so?
I think so because they're a lot more hungry, and I think the humiliation last year
Uh-huh.
has given them the drive to really
Okay.
do something a lot bigger in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Um,
I definitely understand where you're coming from, but I just don't believe it, man. Every year that the Clippers have a decent team, this goal dates back all the way to the Elton Brand years, and anytime they have a decent team, they look great in the regular season, but come playoff time, history proves otherwise, man. So I'm not going to make that assumption as of yet. You may have a point, but I doubt it. I want to
well, they
see it
don't have the
first.
weakness. They don't have the rim protection weakness anymore.
Mm-hmm. But you know
They can
what?
spread the floor with Ibaka.
Right? I mean, yeah, they look solid this year. I'm not even gonna lie; they look a lot more solid than last year. And I did mention how when they acquired Serge Ibaka, BS aside, hatred aside, that was a good upgrade. He was actually who I was targeting with for the Lakers. Um, Unfortunately, yes, they did land him. They got a little bit better. Here's where I still think they lack. They don't have a point guard to help with the facilitating. Remember, in the playoffs, everything slows down, man, and they need somebody in the to get them into the half court sets. What's going to happen is if you put your defensive game plan to stop Kawhi Leonard, now you're forcing Paul George to be the guy. And even though he has been, really great this year in the regular season, again, history proves that in the playoffs he doesn't tend to be the same player. Until he proves me otherwise, I gotta agree to disagree with you, but I respect your opinion, man. I appreciate the phone call.
All right, man, thanks.
All right, thank you, bro. Well, a lot of people. My thing is, I try not to be a prisoner of the moment. Right now, the Clippers look really good. We're still above them, even with the injuries. But yes, Serge Ibaka was an upgrade. I told you guys when this happened. BS to the side, Serge Ibaka was an upgrade. They still don't have that point guard to get them into those half-court sets. The game does slow down in the playoffs. And if you take Kawhi out of the game, if you double him, get the ball out of his hands and force other players to beat you, Lou Williams is not a playoff player, and playoff P hasn't been that. So unless they prove otherwise, I don't believe it, man. I got to see it to believe it. What's up, man? You're on live.
What's good? What's good? What's good? What's good? What's good? What's good, Dad?
What's up, bro? What's cracking? Talk to me.
All right. So, like, every time, like, I just hate it. Like every role player, every like random player that goes off. I just hate that. That's one thing. And like KD, Kyrie, them, like I respect them. I like their game, but they on the bench laughing, doing all that, talking and all that to LeBron. Like that's not what up. And we need some changes like real quick.
You know what? To your point, I see something similar. I do believe there will be changes. I don't know to what degree. I don't know if there's going to be any trades happening, or I don't know if it's just going to be via free agency, via the buyout market. But I think there will be changes, bro, because we have definitely struggled versus both small ball teams and teams that have size. So if we can't guard one or the other, that spells doom. We have to make sure we shore that up before we get into the playoffs. Who you got in mind, though?
And the thing is, like Frank, like I just hate his rotations. Like his rotations be off a little bit.
Right.
Sometimes mostly gets out coached.
I agree with that.
Rotations, like he'll be putting LeBron out for like we'll be done for like 15 when LeBron goes out, and then like we won't have a chance when he goes in because literally we get clapped when he comes out.
Right.
We need somebody to step up.
Now I understand, man.
Crazy.
Coach has been very inconsistent. At times, I don't even know who's going to play that night. Sometimes Wesley Matthews gets the heavy bulk of the minutes. Sometimes it's THT. Sometimes it's Caruso. So that's just the thing I've been telling people, man. I agree with you on that. If you're not consistent with your players, how do you expect your players to be consistent with you, right? So,
exactly.
that is a problem. He's very unpredictable. That could sometimes, however, work to his advantage because the defense can, they do their scouting report, and if you hit them with the, as he likes to call it, the secret weapons, then sometimes they're not ready for it, But for the most part, it is very confusing to the fan base. It's very confusing, I'm sure, to the players. And he needs to do something about that. He did it last year. And if you remember the playoffs, he was a lot more consistent with his rotations. he tightened those up. So I do have faith that he'll get better, man. Anything else you want to say to Laker Nation?
No, really. That's all I really needed to say.
Disappointing night, brother, but hopefully we pick it up soon. Appreciate the call. Thank you very much. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people, I always read it on Twitter, man. Frank Vogel, what is he doing with the rotations? He needs to get better and tighten those up, and we need to get some consistency out of those. Whether he goes with West or whether he goes with THT or Caruso to get the bulk of the minutes, somebody has to get them. That way they can get comfortable within the scheme and just do what they got to do. Appreciate the donation, LBJ23. Thank you so much, bro. He said Lakers will improve in the paint. Go Lakers. I agree with you. I think they will. I think they should improve. And hopefully sooner rather than later, because they need it. Let's see who else is calling. Hey, what up? You're on live with Dan. Hello? Looks like did we drop that one? All right, we dropped that one. Let's go next call. Hey, what's up? You're on live.
What's up, Dan? It's me, James.
Hey, what's up, James? How's it going, brother?
Yo, man, nice and relaxing, man. But it was a bad loss. But it's a teaching moment. Like you said, the mark of a great coach is consistency. If you don't have consistency, you can't be a great coach. Don't get me wrong, I love Frank, but he just has to get better. But with AD being gone and all that, like you said, this is a good opportunity for the role players to step up and everything. But I believe they'll get better. It was one loss, like you said, the Nets were there showboating and all that, talking trash and all that. You saw what happened in the playoffs, with Dame Dollar and Russell Westbrook, Jamal Murray. What happened? Lakers in 5. So you know what's going to happen. We're going to get better. We just got to keep our heads up. It's one game, like you said, and, we're just going to move on.
Yeah, exactly, bro. I appreciate the positivity. You're right. One game at a time. We're not always going to be able to show up. It's a long season, but this probably was one of the worst offensive games we've played this year. Our shot, sometimes the shot's not going to fall, and you also have to give credit to the Nets. They played excellent defense, but you're right. I know Laker fans' blood was boiling watching them showboat on the sideline. My brother texted me. He was telling me how he now hates the Nets. So I was like, yep, add them to the collection, because anytime you get a super team, they're going to get really cocky. They feel some empowerment, especially over LeBron James. Everybody is jealous of LeBron James' legacy. He's the greatest player of this generation and potentially every generation. So when you have players living in the shadow, players like Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving and James Harden, these are all players that have been, defeated by LeBron James at one point or another in their career. So they had to team up just to try and take him down. And here's the thing, though. If you've been a Laker fan like me for a long time, the Lakers don't just sit on their hands and allow stuff like this to happen. I guarantee you something's going to happen where it's going to even the playing field a little bit. I don't know what it is. I'm not going to promise any Bradley Beals or any Zach LaVines or anything like that, but something. I know Rob has something up his sleeve.
Yeah, something's coming.
Yeah.
Something's coming.
And I think
one more thing before.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
Get off. Thank you for the birthday wishes on the gram, man. I appreciate that, man. The birthday wishes. I'm 24, man.
Happy birthday, bro.
Kobe, Mamba mentality, bro.
Absolutely, man. Hey, absolutely, brother. Happy birthday. I hope you enjoy the rest of your year as well. Thanks for the phone call and the support as always, man. God bless you, bro.
Yes, sir.
Have a good one, man. Go Lakers. Here's the thing. The history just shows that the Lakers don't sit on their hands. You guys remember a couple years back, Andrew Bynum went down with an injury. All right, this was over 10 years ago. And the Lakers were hooping before then. We were hooping. We were like 3rd or 4th in the West. I don't recall. But, Bynum goes down with injury. And then everybody spelled doom for the Lakers. They were even talking about potentially trading Kobe Bryant at the time. There was rumors of Ben Gordon and a bunch, like a package from the Bulls. I don't know if you guys remember. And then out of the blue, nobody saw this coming. The Lakers make a swift trade for Pau Gasol. And then when we hear what was in the package, Lamar wasn't included. Bynum was not included. That's when I knew immediately we were a championship contender. All right. Lakers, when you have a superstar like LeBron James or Kobe Bryant, we don't let their prime go to waste. We won a championship, but Rob Pelinka said it best. You guys remember early in the season what Rob said? He said if they have a chance to trade for a third star player who's young and around the age range of Anthony Davis, they will do it. So don't be surprised if something major happens. I'm not guaranteed anything. I'm not making any predictions. Could be something major, could be something minor, but there will be some help coming LeBron James and Anthony Davis' way, and I think sooner rather than later. How you doing? You're on live with Dan.
Hey, yo, Dan.
What's up, bro?
How you doing?
Pretty good, man. Pretty good, considering the fact we just got blown out, but pretty good, man.
I know. I'm just watching the stream right now. I know the Lakers just won. The Kuzma came out and said that they haven't really been practicing.
Yeah.
So, and they got new acquisitions this offseason, so
right.
I'm not trying to make any excuses, but like they haven't really been practicing.
Right. And
they got new players that they added in the offseason, like Trez and Schroeder and Marc Gasol.
Right. Yeah, man. Look, everything considered, everything considered, without the practice, the new acquisitions, the lack of rim protection, and the inconsistent coaching, we're pretty good right now. We're in second place in the West. We're not waving the white flag here. It's not panic time. But in the words of the very great Rob Pelinka early in the season, he said they're not going to settle for nothing, man. They're not going to stay complacent. They're not happy with just one championship. And so if you look at it from that aspect, you have to think, well, these are measuring tape type games, right? And then we got blown out by their role players, really, because Kyrie Irving only had 16 points and James Harden only had 23. So now if you're
the random role players,
right, it always is. But now if you're Rob Pelinka, you got to be sitting back in your king's chair. You got to be thinking, well, they beat us with their role players. Their stars really didn't have a great game, and they were missing Kevin Durant. So the Lakers are weak in paint protection. That has to be priority number one. Priority number two, now you have to sit back and think, well, I have a bunch of assets. I can either harvest and keep these assets and watch them grow and get better together as a unit, or do I put together a package and I go out and try to get like a Bradley Beal or a Zach LaVine to help LeBron James with scoring?
I hear you on that. I think they really should get like a center. That's
right.
what I was thinking in the offseason. They signed Trez, but he's what, 6'7", 6'8"?
Right.
And Marc Gasol, he's like almost out of his prime. He can't really jump with the best of them. He can contest it, but he can't really jump with the best of them.
Right.
So I was really thinking they should go get out like a Hassan Whiteside or
right.
Another center I'm thinking of. But yeah, I think that's really what they need to do.
Well, I'm very curious to see where Rob is going to go and what direction. Something's going to happen. Something's got to give. February 24th is an important date due to cap situation and all that. And I'm not sure when all the contracts that we signed this offseason become available to trade. But there's also another important date, I'm sure, that the Lakers are waiting on. Something has got to give. And also, I don't know if you heard about the rumors about Andre Drummond, but supposedly the Lakers are in the mix for him. So that would be huge for us if we acquire him. So
some people say that's a bad signing because they say stat pads for rebounds. That's what some people say.
It's because here's the thing. They say that because he has played for bad franchises who don't maximize his talent. But if you remember, Pau Gasol was on a losing team and he had only made the playoffs one time in his career before he came to the Lakers. So the great players like LeBron James elevate those players' status. And I don't think he's just a stat patter. I just think he's never been in a successful winning situation. Therefore, the culture isn't winning. And, he's not a winning player, according to people. But the effort is there. He crashes a glass like a mother. And and also, let's be honest, he's a lob threat. He's definitely better than DeAndre Jordan if they made in the finals. So I would love to see that acquisition, bro. And but what do you think about Blake Griffin, though? A lot of people are talking about Blake Griffin.
Blake Griffin, I mean, I don't think the Lakers need him. He's like a defensive liability to me. He can get you offense, but the Lakers need rim protection. That's the main thing I'm thinking about is rim protection.
Right.
I don't know about Blake Griffin because he's gonna be like Morris. Morris to me is just like he doesn't provide anything. Can't really shoot.
Well, here's my thing. Markieff was great for us in the playoffs last year. I don't know if you remember. He went on a rampage where he was just knocking down everything, and that's what veterans bring to the team, man, to the table. And so I don't discount on him. I think tonight would have been a perfect time to start him. Once Frank Vogel saw that they were going small, I would have put Markeith at the 5. You know, so.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we didn't capitalize on that, and sometimes it matters if the coaching staff is utilizing players properly or not. But I do appreciate the phone call, man. You got anything else you want to say, Laker Nation, before I let you go?
Nope, that's it. Hopefully we win the championship this year again, back to back.
Yes, sir. Appreciate the call, man. Thank you so much, brother, and God bless, man.
All right, you too. Have a good night.
Thank you, you too. So we can go many directions here, guys. I'm gonna take a break on the calls for a little bit. I'm gonna head over to the comment section. Well, we can go one of many directions here. One way we're not gonna go is we're not gonna crumble and we're not gonna settle. I doubt this is the final form of the roster that's going into the playoffs. I really doubt this is it. I don't think this is gonna be the final form. I don't think we're looking at the team as is going to the playoffs. I really believe that the Lakers will make a move or two in order to solidify the weaknesses. Now, the key here is just to float. Is just to stay afloat while Anthony Davis gets back. Because I guarantee you, Anthony Davis is in this game, whether they have KD or not. Now we're exploiting them in the paint where really they don't have much of a strength either. That's the reason they went small. They got the advantage by going small as well because Marc Gasol couldn't guard a fly with a fly swatter tonight. So, again, going small is what helped them. Jackie said, we don't have consistent shooters. Well, there's nights like that, but we still have, a couple of shooters that are in the top rankings as far as three-point shooting goes. Tonight, I just feel like it was a bad night. And it's contagious. It's like that Space Jams movie when the aliens, they steal the strength away from the teammates. It's just contagious. When somebody's shooting poorly, they all start shooting poorly. When somebody's shooting lights out, it's like a psyche thing. You see the ball go through the hoop and all of a sudden, boom, you want to join the party. Unfortunately for the Lakers, though, we need more consistency for them, for real. So I do understand your concern about the inconsistency. I mean, there's plenty of concern to be had. But end of the day, we're still second place in the West, right before those red-hot Utah Jazz. I don't expect them to be hot all season. But so far, they've done a great job, so got to give them credit. We're still ahead of the Clippers, even though we had a caller who actually thinks the Clippers are better. We'll see. I doubt it. My sense is telling me, and I'm rarely wrong about these things, that come playoff time, they're going to just become, a shell of themselves, just like last season. But we'll see. I could be wrong. And as far as the Lakers, like I said, LeBron James having an MVP season. He showed up tonight. Kyle Kuzma's been a lot better. Anthony Davis, if he fully heals and he gets back to the form that he had last year, the league is in trouble, okay? That's the last thing the league wants. He's averaging 22 points, and I don't remember how many rebounds, but a couple. And, he hasn't even been healthy all season. So imagine where he would be right now had he started off healthy and we had enough time, man. Danny from LA, appreciate you, bro. He said, I'm not concerned with this loss. We were outgunned tonight. He said, we do not need another defensive big, though. Oh, we do need another defensive big, though. He said, hopefully Pelinka can pull it off. I think so, Danny, and appreciate you, man, always, bro, with the positivity and the donation as well. I do believe Rob Pelinka has something up his sleeve. He keeps everything close to the chest. Remember when we had Magic Johnson? We heard all the rumors happen. Even some players got upset that their name was thrown into the rumor mill. Rob is the complete opposite. He keeps everything close to the chest, and we won't hear about it till you hear me here on this live stream saying breaking news. So basically I try to be one of the first ones to break it to you, but it's always Ward, Janowski, and Shams. Once they break it, you know what happened. But I wouldn't believe, again, take the rumors you're hearing right now with a grain of salt. These Mo Bamba rumors and all these extra rumors, take them with just a grain of salt, because most of the time, believe nothing you hear and half of what you see. That's the way the NBA goes. You don't believe it till you see it. It's not official till it's official. My man said KCP sucks. KCP has struggled, man, but he doesn't suck. He showed us last year. He looked like Rip Hamilton from the 04 Pistons in the playoffs. I think he will recapture his form. He just needs to get under control. He's out of control right now. He's playing out of control. He said Schroeder can't guard Kyrie. Not if the officials have his back and they're calling everything, but I think Schroeder's a pretty good one-on-one defender. I think he'll do a decent job on Kyrie. I mean, Kyrie only had 16 points tonight. It's not like he killed us. It was that Kalahu Kabawahi or something like that. I don't know. I know I butchered his name, but oh well. That guy killed us tonight. It was Joe Harris who killed us tonight. And obviously James Harden, with all his extra calls he gets and stuff, he killed us tonight. And he only had 23 really, so he didn't kill us too much. But it was the role players that really stepped up for the Brooklyn Nets. Congratulations. Again, they win the battle, but I think we'll win the war. I really think if they're lucky enough to be there in the finals and we're, able to shore up the paint, we will be there. And I believe that the Lakers will win in a 7 because LeBron is going to go OD. LeBron's not going to forget what the Brooklyn Nets came here to Staples Center to do. They came here and they tried to prove a point, knowing that, we were down a couple men, but, they did their job. What I didn't appreciate was all that showboating on the sideline in our house, nonetheless. And we're going to make sure we get that revenge. I can't, if they make it there, by the way. I still think they got a long way to go as well. So the battle of, the buyout market is going to be super duper interesting. And I think whoever lands the top fish is going to have an edge. I hope the Lakers, I hope LeBron still has, that agent in his back pocket. And I hope we can still pull off a couple of those acquisitions. People are talking about Trevor Ariza. I would not mind him in the perimeter. People are talking about Hassan Whiteside. I'm iffy on him. But if you're talking about Mo Bamba, I think I prefer Mo. But who I really want is Drummond and or Blake Griffin. Blake Griffin will be dope. I know people don't really want him, but if we have to rest AD for a month or two, Blake Griffin will fit right in nicely. Tonight, it would have been like similar. It would have been like a watered-down version of LeBron and AD. That's what Blake Griffin would have meant to this team tonight. And I think maybe even he would have provided some inside punch. He's a guy who likes to crash the glass. He's 31, so he's no longer in his prime, but I don't think he's as far off of his prime as people believe. I just think he hasn't shown you everything because he wants off of Detroit. That's basketball Siberia. Nobody wants to be there. I don't think I would play well if I was there either, hoping that they, cut me from the team and I'm able to find my way. But look, I'm open-minded. Whoever the Lakers decide to acquire, I know it's going to help. I know it's going to help for sure, just like last year. Last year, we're struggling a bit in the bench, and then we got a couple of players. We got Dion Waiters, who was helping in the regular season, didn't get playing time in the playoffs. But then we got Markieff, who was huge for us in the playoffs. Man, what a great acquisition by Rob Pelinka. We were praising him. Now you heard the caller, man. He don't like he don't think Markieff brings too much to the team, but we already seen it in the playoffs. So once you show it to me once, you got to show it to me again. Dan, don't you think most of these NBA teams are using COVID protocols as a cover for load management? He said, like the other night, Embiid didn't play against Utah, disappointing fans. Maybe so. Like I said, there's always going to be a way around it, but it is what it is, man. At this point, players have a lot of control. Yo, DTLF, how amazing would it be if Rob Pelinka pulls his magic and we get Nikolai Vucevic? That would be amazing. Bro, that guy's been a hooper for years, man. That would truly be spectacular. Question is who you give up and how much is that contract worth? Those are things we got to look at. But all in all, bottom line is the Lakers do have some work to do here to get better from different positions, even from within the organization, from within the team. They have to make sure that they communicate better, stop turning the ball over so much and getting off to those slow starts. That's something we haven't been able to cure in the last couple of weeks. Has it been a month now? Almost every game has been a slow start. So Lakers have to do a much better job. I do believe that it's over for Mark as far as being a starting center. As soon as we acquire that new center, I think he's going to get second and third string minutes. And that's what at this point of his career, that's what he should get, to be fair. Love me some Marcus, so I think he's a high IQ guy. I think in his prime he was great, but we got him a year too late, man. He went from averaging 7 points to 4 points. He went from averaging, 4, 5, 6 rebounds to like half a rebound. Like, bro's struggling out here. And it's about time that we stop becoming the poster child of the NBA because everybody's coming out here and just, getting in the paint, doing whatever they want. So that is priority number one. He said, Dan, who should be our number one target? Andre Drummond. I don't care what anybody says about Andre Drummond. Man's a hooper. I've seen enough of his career where I know there was a time when Detroit was building around Drummond, and as a result, they traded away Monroe, and they traded away all these players just to build around Drummond, and then they try to pair up Blake Griffin and Drummond. Unfortunately, they don't have a winning culture there, so no matter how good the pairing was, and the injuries did plague Blake and Drummond as well, it just wasn't meant to be. But Drummond, to me, he's only, 28 years old. He's still in his prime. Him and AD would be a force, man. You don't want to see Anthony Davis and Drummond. Trust me. Trust me, those two guys will be crashing the glass, getting second chance points, blocking shots, rebounding like crazy. Oof. Drummond on the Lakers will be just like revitalizing his career, just giving him another shot and actually playing valuable minutes for a championship contender. That would mean a lot for him. Worst case scenario, Brooklyn gets him and the Lakers end up with nothing. That's worst case scenario. But I doubt that happens. I really don't. This man said Kwame Brown is better than Gasol. Probably. Because Gasol, look, I'm not even hating on Mark. I think he's a year over the hill, you know. He's just 1 year too late. And unfortunately, that tends to happen a lot to the Lakers. We end up getting players when it's too late for them. It happened before. It happened before with Steve Nash. It's happened before with Gary Payton. It's happened before with Karl Malone. You know, it's happened before, and I'm sure many other occasions. But it is what it is. He said, Dan, Nets fans on Twitter saying Harden is better than Kobe is so annoying. It's what you call low basketball IQ. I don't know if they never saw Kobe play, but that's ignorance. And ignorance is bliss. They're happy being ignorant. Let them be. That's their opinion. At the end of the day, they're entitled to their opinion as small as insignificant as it is. It's their opinion. So let them be happy. Fool's gold. James Harden to me is fool's gold. Kobe never joined a super team. I don't care what nobody says. He played alongside Shaq and a bunch of good role players. That wasn't a super team. He won championships along with Gasol and a bunch of good role players. That wasn't a super team. Super team is what Kevin Durant and James Harden and Kyrie are in. That's 3 superstars, right? That's what they call them. So you got to live by the sword and you die by the sword. So again, if the Lakers are able to acquire Andre Drummond, man, that's going to be really dangerous for the league. They don't want to see it. If they had trouble with JaVale McGee and Dwight, imagine what Drummond will do. And yes, Drummond is not an elite shot blocker, but he's such a great rebounder. He's just great around the basket. Like he's somebody who works for. He's like kills it on the stats for a reason. He's not just a stat patter. He's somebody who just continues to work on the glass. You know, he's skilled around the basket. He can finish, and I think he will be a force for the Lakers. Teresa, she says, I'm still encouraged. The Nets were missing KD. Lakers were missing Dennis and AD, and we only lost by 11. A good rim protector, and we'll be in business. I agree, and that's the right mindset right there. We can't be upset tonight. Just so happened we were undermanned, and we didn't come with the energy in that first half, which, like I mentioned, was key to start this game. But you know what? We live to see another day. We live to fight another day. We'll be straight. Last I checked, we didn't slide up or down in the standings, so we're good. We're good. These games are going to happen. We're ready. We're ready for battle next game. LeBron James continues to look amazing, and I'm proud of the fight Kuzma and them put up. So even though, by the way, one thing I do want to talk about is McKinney. Now, a lot of you guys have been talking about McKinney. Every time he plays garbage minutes, he looks impressive, man. The way he plays the passing lanes, the way he's knocking down threes, and just the way he looks out there. His composure reminds me of, do you guys remember when we acquired Trevor Ariza from the Orlando Magic? He was a nobody. He literally was a nobody, and Phil Jackson wasn't giving him major minutes when he first landed here. However, he earned his minutes through garbage minutes, and then eventually he earned the trust of Phil. Eventually he became a starter, and eventually he was playing like an all-star. I remember when he was posterizing people. Man, Trevor forever. I'll never forget Trevor forever, man. UCLA product. Loved the kid, especially when he was younger. And McKinney reminds me a little bit of Trevor. Obviously, Trevor was much better at playing defense in the passing lanes, but body type, maybe not as athletic, but the way he kind of reads on the defensive end, I see a little bit of similarities there. So I would like to see if they give him a little bit more minutes, if he can produce for us, because I'm curious to see what that kid has. And again, he's not too young, but he's also not too old. So I'm curious to see what he has in his arsenal, and maybe he can provide some spotty defense here and there, maybe a couple of slashing buckets. And you never know, if he knocks down his three, man, we got ourselves a role player right there. What do you guys think about McKinney, though? And and the early minutes that he's played here with the Lakers, I have actually been pleasantly impressed. He said, Dan, I have noticed KCP has been hesitating with letting the three fly. Maybe it's getting to his head. That's KCP for you, man. When KCP is the type of player that when he hesitates, he's going to miss those shots. When he just lets it fly and just it becomes second nature to him and he's playing confidently, he's good. So I just hope that he gets out of his own head and he's able to finally play right. He said the bench tonight protected our pride. Well, they brought us back a little bit, but that doesn't matter. The game was out of hand from the get. And again, Lakers have made it a bad habit of falling behind. And this is one of those teams that won't let you back in it because they continue to push the pace and score more. Like I said, make no mistake, it might be coached by Steve Nash, but he's just a puppet. The puppet master is Mike D'Antoni. That move tonight was typical Mike D'Antoni. Starting Jeff Green at the center, we should have seen it coming, and we should have adapted by, coming back with Markieff, especially since we don't have AD. See, that's not a problem when we have AD. You slide him down to the 5 and dominate. But when you don't have AD, it becomes a problem. You had a matchup, and we got outcoached. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for donations, likes, and all the support on the channel, the phone calls as well. You guys were great. Make sure you guys keep it locked right here. All things Lakers. Anything happens, you know where to find me as soon as it breaks. And as far as please don't forget to smash the like button on your way out. Truly helps the channel. Thank you guys again. I do appreciate you guys, man. God bless. Have a great night tonight. I know it was a tough loss, but we'll bounce back, baby. Long season. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Have a good night.